big picture of life. Most people have difficulty seeing the big picture of life. However, the big picture is that you are neither your body nor mind, although they belong to you. Who you are is a spirit being at the core. Your body and mind will return to the dust. However, you will continue to exist the same way you are existing now, as a spirit being in the spirit realm. Your body and mind only belong to you. Whatever belongs to you cannot be you. They can only be your properties. Therefore, in that regard, your body and mind is no different from your SUV, if you have one, house and lot, if you have, and whatever else belongs to you, together with your accessories. You are both a human being and a spirit being. So what you need is to bring your body, mind, and spirit under the same roof. Human beings are born spiritual. However, the more they identify with A, B, and C, the more they drift away from their spirit core nature. For example, in identifying with your family, such as to claim, these are my people, you are discriminating by inferring that the others are not. So you are drifting from being spiritual. For God, who is spirit, is impartial. So what you need to do is trade in your ID badges, whereby you may have identified with an organization, politics, religious, and the like, identified with your country and so on. Put a safe distance between you and all those ID badges, identifications that you have formed, and establish one universal identity. For God is one, and the universe is one energy. So whenever you see other people from that point, you don't see them as separate. Instead, you begin to see them as forming part of yourself. You are not there trying to be one up on others, saying this is me and that's you, and what's me is bigger than that which is you and yours. You're not there trying to be one up on anybody else or anybody. You instead want for others the same thing you want for yourself. That's their well-being. So you don't need morality. What you need is to keep your humanity lit. In so doing, you already have integrity. Why would you anchor in organized religion when your intellect wants to know, not believe? Life is an expedition, and your intellect is your tool for exploration. If you anchor in religion, how can you set sail? Unless you set sail, how can you explore? Unless you explore, how can you know God, the nature of your existence? Know life. You should neither believe nor disbelieve anything until it enters your experience. For in believing, you shut down the awesome possibility of knowing. People believe in order to give themselves confidence. In believing, what you do is you are making an assumption with which you draw a conclusion. To give yourself confidence, accept confidence without clarity. You need to have clarity. Confidence is purely psychological. What you need to do is to work on your competence to adequately prepare so you'll always be seeing with clarity. Whenever you are seeing the clear path ahead of you, whenever you are enlightened, you're not there feeling your way, groping in the dark. You can travel then at lightning speed, for you are seeing the clear path ahead of you. To be in the dark is to not know something. Therefore, to be enlightened simply means to know that which you didn't know before. All you have and you came with is life. You are God-breathed. So, that's what you are. God-breathed, a spirit being. A life that is eternal. Yes, it is true that you are presently clothed in your body and mind. However, notwithstanding, you can only claim to have your own body and mind. You cannot go around saying this is my life, for life is a shared commodity. We share it with all the other living creatures and things. You cannot you came into this world with nothing. And like me, will leave with nothing. So whatever you acquire puts you and me on the profit side. Whereas everyone is conscious to varying degrees. To become fully conscious, you've got to go through an explosion, by which means you transform, going from being governed through your body and mind where people call themselves big man and big woman. Imagine in this entire solar system, huh? Is but a microspeck. Within that microspeck, you know, this planet Earth is a super microspeck. Within that super microspeck, Belize, the whole of Central America, the Caribbean, is a super microspeck, and it is within that people are calling themselves big men and women. So I'm saying one does not strive to become more conscious. You simply turn up the voltage. And if you were only seeing 10% of the population in a room, as you sufficiently turn up the voltage, you'll then be able to see 100% to where you don't even have to focus. You only have to pay keen, undivided attention. Some people get the big picture only when they are lying on their deathbeds, so they left there with their mouths open, not gasping for air, but shocked with the realization that of their failure to live full-fledged lives, and making memorable experiences. They think that everyone else are going to die except for themselves. However, they themselves have a whole lot of time, they think. Either that or that they are here to turn into rock stones. Whenever you talk to people, some people about life, meaning, their average 3 score and 10 and perhaps a little more, they keep referring to like their lifestyle, what they own and this and that and that and that. So what they are, instead of being, they are becoming full of themselves. They prefer to talk about making a living, which should only be a means to an end. Instead of making a life. Life is what you're supposed to. And by life, I mean your 3 score and 10 and perhaps a little bit more. In making a life, you settle down and establish a home, establish stability. In life, you need a stable foundation. With a stable foundation, you'll then be able to explode without incident. If you are lonely whenever you are alone, my friend, then you are in bad company. Instead of trying to squeeze pleasure out of the environment, recognize that all experiences are generated from within yourself. You are a chemical factory, able then to make all your emotions sweet in your body, energy system, thought, and emotion. And so finally, you need to know that life in this physical realm is it. This is it. In the spirit realm, there is only nothingness. No discretionary memory. There are no boundaries. Therefore, there is no need for hope. The hope, because it's perfect. The hope organized religion is selling is purely psychological. Hope for the afterlife and hope in the hereafter. It's like a dog chasing after its tail. A spirit neither has a body nor does it need one. It doesn't need a mansion. It never gets weary. If and when it wants to visit, it can go wherever it was buried. Politicians are the ones able to sell and deliver on hope. The hope of owning a home by age 30, hope of having a robust economy, hope of good roads and bridges and drainage and other infrastructure, hope of affordable education and so on. Therefore, let it be so. Ito Allah, kaya sisaya. Ayo.